They searched the ship and found the entire crew dead. No wounds, no blood, just stillness. Every man frozen where he stood, hands on ropes, at the wheel, mid-step. Why? What happened? There were no signs of struggle. But the logbook ended with one line, written in shaking ink. We were not meant to carry it. The ship was called Calder, a small British schooner. Fast, quiet, often used for unofficial trade. In February 1820, it departed from Smyrna under cover of night. No inspection, no flags, no records, just 15 men, a sealed hold, and one order from the consul in Izmir. Do not open the cargo. Do not stop. Delivered directly to Malta. But why all the secrecy? The crates were loaded at midnight. No markings, no numbers, just black wax seals and heavy chains. Captain Elias Trent had seen everything in his 10 years at sea. Gun running, bribes, escaped nobles. But this felt different. Too quiet, too clean, too urgent. Then a ship appeared behind them. Small, fast, flying no flag. It didn't signal. It didn't change course. Just followed, hour after hour. When Trent ordered lights doused, it vanished. But by morning, there it was again. Closer. Who were they? And what did they want? On the third night, one of the crew vanished. Shipment had. Hammock still warm. No blood. No esplas. Just gone. His boots were neatly placed under a coil of rope. And someone had drawn a symbol in chalk on the mainmast. A strange double-headed lion with a cross in its mouth. No one recognized it. No one admitted doing it. Then came the storm. No warning. No clouds. Just wind. Fast. Loud. Impossible. The Calder pitched hard. Crates crashing below. 2 men thrown overboard. One snapped his leg. And one crate burst open. Not weapons. Not gold. Books. Thick. Hand-bound. Sealed with wax. Dozens of them stacked tightly in straw. Letters none of the crew could read. Why was a British ship smuggling books under armed silence? By morning, 2 more crates were missing. Not opened. Just gone. Vanished from the hold. The hatch had been locked all night. Trent confronted the crew. No one confessed. One man, the cook, simply whispered, "We're not alone on this ship." Then he stopped talking for good. They tried to turn back, but the compass spun in circles. The sky was clear. The sea was calm, but direction meant nothing anymore. What controls a ship with no wind and no will of its own? Captain Trent gave the order to stop. He needed answers. He needed loyalty, and he was losing both. The men were no longer speaking freely. 3 refused to eat. One prayed non-stop in his hammock. Another sharpened his blade for 6 hours straight. Nobody talked about the books. Nobody dared to touch them. Then a British frigate appeared at the horizon. 2 decks, 32 guns. The HMS Caledonia. They signaled, "State your name and cargo." Trent didn't answer. He remembered what the agent in Smyrna said. If you're boarded, you burn the hold. If you can't, you sink the ship. But could he sacrifice 15 men? Not just himself, his crew. Half of them didn't even know what they were carrying. He sent back a signal. Cargo, diplomatic. No inspection. The answer came back as cold as the wind. Diplomatic clearance denied. And then a warning shot across the bow. Inside the hold, the crew found the books rearranged. No one had touched them, but the stack had changed shape. Now it formed a circle. Empty space in the center, crates arranged like spokes on a wheel. In the middle, a torn British naval flag, folded perfectly. It hadn't been there before. Trent gave the order to torch one crate. Just one. He wanted to see if it burned. It didn't. The flames licked the edges, but the wood wouldn't catch. The wax melted, the pages blackened, but never truly burned. Then one of the crewmen collapsed. Nosebleed, tremors, unconscious. He hadn't touched anything, just stood near it too long. Then another ship appeared. Not the frigate, a dark silhouette on the opposite horizon. Sloop-rigged, small, silent, no flag, no signal, no reason to be there. But now the Calder was caught, between a Royal Navy frigate and an unmarked vessel that didn't answer hails. The men started to whisper mutiny. Trent heard them. Someone said the word gold. Another cursed, but most said nothing. They only stared at the sealed hold, like it was breathing. At night, the cook was found dead. Not murdered, poisoned, self-inflicted. A folded page in his pocket. One sentence, written in what looked like Ottoman Turkish. We were never meant to survive delivery. Now the crew wanted to dump the cargo. But Trent hesitated. He didn't care about the gold. He didn't care about Malta. He cared about one thing. If we throw it overboard, who comes for us next? They tried to dump the cargo, but the hatch was sealed from the inside, bolted, reinforced, and none of the men claimed to do it. So who did? The Royal Navy frigate closed in. Cannons armed, boarding party ready. Trent had minutes. He gathered his officers mid-deck, told them the truth. He was ordered not to let the ship be taken. Not by pirates, not by allies, not even by the British Crown. His instructions were clear. Preserve the mission, or erase the evidence. Then the second ship moved, the one with no flag, sailed closer, but still no signals, no colors, no sails luffing, just watching. It kept perfect distance, as if waiting for something, as if it had followed this exact route before. One sailor said he recognized it from a job 5 years ago, but that ship had sunk in 1815, with all hands. Trent made his choice. He ordered the men to abandon ship. 10 refused. 3 obeyed. The boats were lowered. No gunfire from the frigate. Just distant shouting, distant flags, distant judgment. But before Trent could light the charges and scuttle the hold, the books were gone. Every crate, every bundle, empty. Straw scattered. Pages missing. Wax seals peeled. No signs of forced entry. No tracks. No hands. Just a flag again. Folded. Neat. Placed where Trent's coat had been. Then came a signal from the frigate. Final message before boarding. Prepare to be taken. No resistance. Trent stood on deck, his pistol loaded, his hand on the lantern, and the hold started to creak. From below. Slow. Wooden. Heavy. Like something shifting deep inside the keel. And then the calder moved. Without wind. Without orders. Straight toward the unflagged ship. The rudder ignored. The sails slack. As if drawn. As if finishing a journey no one remembered starting. Trent screamed for the boats. Too late. Ropes snapped. The cutters drifted. Only 3 men escaped. The rest stayed aboard, willingly or not. When the Royal Navy boarded, the ship was empty. Not a soul. No books. No Trent. No crew. But the deck was spotless. Fresh. As if prepared for inspection. The hatch to the hold was sealed again. Only one thing left behind. The captain's log. Blank. Except for one page. Written in someone else's hand. We delivered it. Where it wanted to go. They rescued 3 men from the lifeboats. Sunburnt. Silent. Half-starved. None of them would say what happened. Why not? What did they see? The Royal Navy logged the incident as mechanical failure. No mention of sealed cargo. No mention of the calder changing course on its own. The official report said, vessel found adrift. Crew presumed drowned. Cargo unrecoverable. But one line, buried in the margins, stood out. All 3 survivors discharged. Deemed mentally unfit for duty. Lieutenant Brand, one of the rescued, slit his own throat 6 days later. No note, only a drawing carved into his cabin wall. 2 ships, one in shadow, the other identical but upside down. The second man, Bramley, vanished from hospital in Gibraltar. Left his uniform neatly folded. Nothing else. Just a page tucked in his shoe. They knew. They paid for silence. The ink was Ottoman, but the handwriting was English. The third survivor spoke. Once. To a civilian clerk in Valletta. He whispered. We carried nothing, but arrived. Then he collapsed. By morning, he was dead, no cause determined. His tongue was missing. The clerk resigned the next day. He burned the transcript and never returned to naval service. In London, questions were asked, but quietly, in private rooms, in sealed letters. Because the Calder was never officially listed as lost, her name still appeared on rolls. Her route marked undisclosed. Her cargo, non-lethal documents. But the name of the man who approved the mission, Admiral C. Redford, retired, moved to Smyrna, shot himself 3 weeks later. And then, the Calder reappeared, 3 months later, drifting off the coast of Tunis. No crew, no damage. Clean, fully stocked, sails furled, anchors up, but no one had reported seeing her since the day she vanished. Inside the captain's quarters, a new logbook. No date, no name, just 24 pages, each one blank, except the last. A single sentence repeated 3 times. It must keep moving. It must keep moving. It must keep moving.